Happy Sunday. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. This is where we always are, isn't it? Oh, we have a special guest.
I did not listen today. But hey, let's go. Demon, just go away, please.
Okay, if you want to be on camera, you actually have to take a step back. Hi, Mike.
I tried myself.
Hi, Chloe. Hi, AK. Hey, Haley.
Do you get the hair in my mouth?
You have a hair in your mouth? Okay, just grab something and wipe your mouth out. Hi, Derek. Here you go. Does that work?
Yeah. Anyway, today's live stream is sponsored by
Hey, Love Family.
SimCity is an awesome building game. Heck is doing the 5th installment of Sims. Go check it out on eBay, Amazon, etc. Not sponsored by EA.
No, we're not sponsored. AK, yes, I still act for Dhar Mann.
Explore one of Endless Possibilities. Stunning by oneup.com.
I don't think I had a day off this week, did I?
Wait, what?
Oh, wait, no, I worked there last week a few days, and this week a couple of days. And next week I work.
I'm gonna put this in my bedroom, okay? I got Sims 2 and
Next week I work 4 days for Dhar Mann. Hey, Shad.
Oh, makes me look. For a second, I thought to say, okay, I'm not gonna even say it. I gotta go. Bye. Hi, Timmy. Hi, Catherine. I gotta go get dressed, okay? Because Mommy's gonna leave early for church to meet a friend. Sorry for exposing it.
Oh.
Almost fell down.
Okay, keep on your feet. Hey, Rodrigo.
I'm trying my best.
Okay, you remember what I told you to do?
I know.
And what else? Yes. Hey, Erica. Good morning. I'm going to close my door. Hey, Nala. So, today is a day of memory in America. Do you guys know what today is and what it stands for? I know some of you are not from America here. Hey, Blake. Well, today is the day we remember what happened. Thank you, Haley. 21 years ago or 22 years ago? Anyway, it was about 20-some years ago. Nan is here. Good morning. So, for me, it was the most important. Yeah, 9/11. 1 more year to graduate. Wonderful. Yeah, Jackie, it was very sad. You know, it was in my lifetime, it was, one of the most important, memorable events. You know, my lifetime has never seen, like, a big, big war. I mean, our country did stuff in other countries in my lifetime, like Afghanistan and things like that. But the first and only time that I know of in my lifetime where terrorists came to the United States, took over the planes and blew up some buildings. So, yeah. So it's a day that we remember, and it's one of those things that it's, Blake says, I was only 2 years old when it happened. Thank you, Corey. Shad says, I'm actually from Lebanon, a Middle Eastern country, and we're not proud of people like that. Trust me, it feels different. Yeah, and that was a thing too, sad for the people who are of Middle Eastern descent and don't feel would never do anything like that, would never want to hurt people. Like, I remember, everyone was so scared, they started looking at everyone like, we started being scared of people who maybe looked like they were from those countries. And, it was another thing of racial profiling, but they thought, oh, well, it's for our own good. And one of my dear friends is Muslim, and he would never hurt a fly. He's one of those, You call him ride or die friends. Like, he's one of the people I could call like at 3 in the morning if I was in a jam, and he would show up and help. So, you know, we can't lump everybody into one category, right? Thank you, Nala. So I just wanted to mention that it's, it was one of those times where it brought us all together. It brought the country together, and at that time it wasn't this political party against this political party. It was, this is America, right? Brittany says, a day you can't forget. I was a 13-year-old youngling. Yes. And it's like in my mom's lifetime when John F. Kennedy was shot. Like, everybody remembers where they were when they heard the news of it happening. I was in the 99-cent store when I heard about it. And of course, we all had to rush home. Living in a big city, I just had moved to Los Angeles. And, when something like that happens, and you're away from your parents and you're away from home and you're young and vulnerable, it's like a whole different feeling. And, those of us in Los Angeles kind of felt like, yeah, Jesse, yeah. We kind of felt like, well, maybe what happens if we might be next, because sometimes when a big thing like this goes down, people target big cities. They target New York, Los Angeles, big cities. They don't usually target little small hometowns to make like a big difference like that, right? Jarrell says, I was in school when it happened. I live in New York City, but I was not there when it happened, thank goodness. So, for a long time, those of us even in LA felt like we couldn't go anywhere where we were in big crowds. People didn't want to go to a Dodger game or go somewhere where you're at some stadium or you're in a big crowd of people, because what if, something happens? And, every time something crazy like a bombing or something happened, you start to worry about that. Corey says, Aiden Mikas, say hi to Aiden Mikas next time you see him. Okay, I did work with him recently, a couple weeks ago, on a reaction video. Yeah. So, yeah, how did they get past security? Well, our security measures at that time were not as strong or robust or as in-depth as they are now. Okay, Ola. Hello, Ola. So today I thought we'd talk a little bit about, when you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And so how do you get, I just kind of spoiled it and gave the answer. But if there's something you've ever wanted in life and you just can't seem to get it, like whatever it is, whatever goal you have, Anna wants to know what I'm drinking today. I did not get to the store last week, so I ran out of lemons, so I did not get my lemon water. I ran out of celery juice. I did not get my celery juice this morning. But before I got on today, I had 32 ounces of water, and then right before this, I had a smoothie, which was bananas, fresh squeezed orange juice, spinach, chard, and kale. So I had a nice green smoothie. I don't have it to show you today because I was too hungry to wait. So have you ever been trying to get something or get somewhere or do something or achieve something, and it's just not happening? Has that ever happened to you? But you keep doing the same thing to get it. But if you keep doing the same thing to get it, you're going to keep getting the same results, right? What's that definition of insanity? Who knows? There's like a popular definition of insanity that says doing the same thing but expecting different results is insanity. So you may see somebody saying, this is what I did to become this or achieve this or make it here. And so you keep trying to do that thing. You keep trying to do that thing that worked for this person, but it's not working for you. How long are you going to keep doing something just because it worked for someone else, but you're not getting results? Okay, Nana's got the quote. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That is insanity. So, but there's things that we're all doing in our life and we're like, I just don't know. I keep doing this thing and it worked for so-and-so, but we're all different, right? We're all different and it's not going to work for, great example of this is like diet, right? Not every diet works for every person. So some people may be like, I did keto worked. Another person might be, I did the grapefruit or cabbage diet, whatever it is. But it doesn't work for you. Doesn't keep you full, doesn't keep you satisfied, makes you have cravings, whatever. Not everything works for everybody. So you have to, when you do something for a while, if you're not seeing results and you've been diligent at doing it, you have to switch. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes we just want to dig our heels in and go deeper. Or like sometimes in my life, I've been so like, I got to achieve this dream. I got to achieve this goal. So I'm just going to go faster and harder, right? I'm just going to go faster and harder at it. And so, and you just get worn out, but you're still not getting results. Oh, thank you, Mike. Love Family says, you have encouraged me so much in your videos and your books. Sometimes I would be thinking about giving up, but many times I felt lifted up. That's wonderful to hear. I'm glad that these are helpful. I hope I'm not just talking to myself when I'm on here. So going 100 miles an hour instead of 60 miles an hour isn't going to get you to your goals faster if you're not actually going the right direction, right? You may be driving further away from your goals. You may be going further away from them faster, This back on, you can use that analogy for your business, your career, and even diet. Some people think, well, if I just starve and don't eat, then I'm going to reach this goal. But your body is smart. Your body is going to cave at some point, and it's going to need to replenish what you've been starving it of, right? And then you're going to binge, and then you're going to go for the wrong things, and then you're going to just devour everything in front of you that's not healthy, right? Because when we binge, it's not usually on broccoli because we've deprived ourselves of calories for so long. However, if you heard the term slow and steady wins the race. If you were just slowly and steadily eating healthy food every couple of hours, keeping your energy up, you would get to your goals faster of having health than you would if you didn't eat, binge, right? So it's the same with your work habits. It's the same with pretty much any goal you want to get to. Slow and steady wins the race. Jesse says, baking a cake at 600 degrees Fahrenheit isn't going to cook the cake any faster. Yeah, and we get impatient. We get impatient with life. And sometimes I get impatient when I'm cooking. And I turn the burner up higher because I'm like, I want to get my food cooked right away. And I just end up burning it. It just burns the whole bottom layer. And then you have to scrub trying to get the burnt stuff off the pan. Jordan says, for me personally, I don't remember 9/11. I was 3 years old when it happened and you were in Ireland. So what are we doing where we just keep beating our head against the wall in life, in relationships, in school, in our work life, in our goals? What are we doing where we're just, it's not working, but we're going to do it harder and we're going to do it faster, even though we're not seeing the results? So ask yourself, now you guys can answer this, is there anything that you guys have been doing and working on and it's just nothing is moving, nothing is happening? You know, there's times like that. If you want to answer and let me know what is it you're working on. And here's a little tip. It's got to be something you are working on for you. You can't change anybody else. So you can't say, oh, I've been working on nagging my boyfriend for 6 years to marry me. Whatever it is. You cannot change anybody else. You cannot nag someone into the behavior you want. You cannot get your kids to pick up their socks. You cannot change another person. So the only thing you can change is yourself. Corey's doing a school project right now. Cool. So what is it that you're going to do differently to get different results? I'm just going to read a little section from this book, The Double Diamond Principle, 58 Success Secrets from the Life of Jesus. So Jesus knew that when you want something you've never had, you must do something you've never done. What a novel idea. So if you've never had something, you're not going to get it by doing what you always do or doing that harder or faster, right? So everything seems difficult at first. How many of you guys can attest to trying something that is like, oh man, how am I ever going to get this down? But the more you do it, the easier it gets, right? The more you do it, the easier it gets. So, driving a car. Who ever got in a car the first time to drive it and you were like petrified and nervous and scared and you're like remembering, okay, who's the first one to stop at the stop sign? Okay, I'm going to change lanes and I got to get my blinker on, but first I got to look in the rearview mirror but then I got to turn this way and there could be somebody in my blind spot and I have to and if you ever got a gear shift and I got to put the clutch down before I shift and you've got all this like 100 new things in your brain and you can't even like have the radio on when you're first driving because you don't want interference when you're trying to think of everything. But after doing it for 6 months or a year, you're like got the radio cranked, you got the window down, you got one arm out the window, one arm, you might be eating a sandwich, driving, singing, talking to someone, and it's like no problem.
Did you always roll too heavy?
Here, let me see. Everything seems difficult at first. Did you roll it up too high again?
Yeah.
Okay, so see, you just push it and roll it back down. There. Now I got this on my fingers. Try it now. Put some on.
No, I want to put some on.
Okay, it's not. You're making a mess.
I know.
So everything seems difficult at first, and then you do it for a while and it's not difficult. So if you need to do different things in order to get different results, it may seem a little hard at first, right? Where you're at right now may be your comfort zone, but you can't expand and move and get to the next place if you're staying in your comfort zone, right? You have to get out of your comfort zone to make a difference. Hey, Envy, trying. So, what are you going to do to get out of your comfort zone? You got to do something different, and everything new seems difficult at first.
Is it because we can bond this forever?
No, use your own.
I don't want to use my own now.
Okay.
I like this company now.
Fine, take it.
Thank you.
I don't care.
You can use my Tom's.
I don't want your Tom's deodorant. That smells like a man. I don't want to smell like a man.
Oh, I am buying orange Tom's for a woman, I guess.
He broke his deodorant because he twisted it up too high and the thing broke off and I was trying to fix it for him and now I got man deodorant on my fingers. So everything seems difficult at first. When you were beginning to crawl, it was very difficult. You guys just don't remember these things because you were so young. When you took your first step and you fell, it was difficult, right? Maybe the first time you tried to learn fractions or math or how to conjugate a verb, Is that a thing? I don't know. I still don't do that stuff. I just finished, I worked for like 8 months on this lead generator that I'm gonna, this 6 confidence tips I learned from Jesus. And it's a big thing, but I narrowed it down to like 12 pages that I could give away. And I got something back from my editor saying, you have all these mistakes. Please don't send me a sloppy copy. Please read over your work before you send it. You're causing extra work for me. You didn't capitalize these things right. You didn't put, you need to study how to use parentheticals, because you, like, I had to like look up what parentheticals were. You'd think after all these years of writing I would know some of this stuff, but you know, I kind of think that's why I hired the editor, but you know. Love Family says, when can we expect your new book? Okay, so I've got booklets I'm working on, but then I've got a big, full, robust book. And it's supposed to be back from the editor this week, but I don't know when I'm going to launch it yet. Blake, enjoy your day. Because I am not 100% sure if I'm going to self-publish, which I was going to do, or if I'm going to go a different route, because my friend just introduced me to her literary agent. Haley, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Yes, Corey, I've been in probably like 150 films. I mean, projects, if you count plays, movies, films, TV shows, commercials, industrials, whatever. So the book might be ready this next week, but if I self-publish, I'm going to do it in October. That's my birthday month. Wouldn't it be cool if I could put out a book every October for my birthday? Hey, Adis, thank you so much. Jackie, Catherine, you remember me? I was there on your last Sunday live. Yeah, I remember the name, Jackie. I do think I saw you. So, Jackie, if you want to ask a question, that's fine, but just making comments, putting other people down, I don't think we need that on here unless you had some sort of a question. So, I don't know, but I'll keep you guys posted on when the book's going to come out. You'll hear about it. I'll post about it on Instagram and here. I just don't know yet. So, Jackie, are you the one that was bringing up your marriage problems you had last week before on the live stream? It's fine if you want to ask a question, but just like downloading and dumping, like saying all this stuff about people, it's not really helpful. It doesn't bring solutions or answers to other people. And yes, you can DM me personally on Instagram. That's fine. We're trying to, on the live streams, try to stay like learning, uplifting. You know, it's not that we never get into deep, dark topics. We do sometimes. But just doing like a dump of your problems is not always appropriate. But I understand if you're in a lot of pain, how that feels, and you feel like you can't even do anything else. I know that's not a good spot to be in. Derek, thank you for the gift. I don't know if I could still tap dance. I still have my old tap dancing shoes in my shed. I haven't tried them on in like a decade. So I'm assuming they would still fit, but I've not had a reason. I've not booked a role where I've had to tap dance. I kept them around. I still have some of my, like, it's probably, did you see this photo of me as a child? This is in my tap dance class. It's full of dust. Okay. Who can pick out which one is me? Yeah, that was my tap class. Yeah, that's me as a child. I'm the oldest looking one. I don't think I was the oldest in class. I just think I have an old looking face. So there I am. right there. I feel like I've always looked 35, even when I'm like 8 here or 10. I'm like, I've like all my teenage years and child years, I feel like I've always looked like an old person. Oh, yeah, little Catherine, that's right. So, trying something new is going to be difficult, right? But you have to do different things if you want different results. Adis says, when is your new Dhar Mann video coming out? You know, they never let us know. They never like send us an email and say, your episode will be out next Thursday. We don't know. So we don't know any more than you do. So when Dhar Mann Studios posts the trailer, usually the day before for what's coming out, if I see the trailer and I see myself in the clip, I go, oh, okay, it's coming out tomorrow. Corey says, even though I'm a boy, I used to tap dance. Tap dancing isn't just for girls. Anybody can dance. Anybody can tap dance. Some of the best tap dancers in the world were men, right? Did you ever watch any of those old movies from like the 40s? And with like Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire. Fred Astaire was a fantastic dancer and actor. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with men dancing or boys dancing. It's needed to have part, you know, if you, there's a gal I work with. Oh, thank you for the gift, Lizzie. You're so kind. There's a gal I work with who, do you guys know who Avis is? We're in two videos now. We've shot 2 videos. Neither of them have come out yet. She's a dancer and she goes to all these professional like dance clubs for like people who do like salsa, merengue, swing dancing. She knows all the different kind of professional dances. And she says, he says, yeah, I used to watch the 40s movies, but I moved on to the 80s movies. She says that there's not enough men at these dance places. And all these women are there to dance, but there's never enough men partners. So a lot of times the women have to partner with the other women because there's not enough men to go around. And then the other woman has to learn the male part of the dance moves. And she said, I don't understand why more men don't dance. Especially men who, like, if there's any of you guys that want to meet women, one of the best places you can meet them is at a dance place. There's so many women who are looking for men to dance with, and there's never enough men to dance with. So if you enjoy dancing, you should keep doing it. And don't let any guys make fun of you and think, oh, you shouldn't be a dancer, you should be in football. Yeah, no. You be in whatever makes your heart happy and makes your heart sing. And hi, Roman. It's a good place to meet the ladies if that is, you know, on your agenda, something you want to do. So let's go back to talking about how you can get things you've never had before. How is it? So thousands will fail in life because they're unwilling to make changes. Where are you guys stuck? Where are you in a comfort zone that you don't want to move out of because you're just so used to it? It feels easy. You know, you don't want to have to make much of an effort, but you're going to have to do things that are uncomfortable for you if you want to get different results you've never had before. Like, oh my gosh, if you want to like learn a very complicated subject, you may have to get a tutor. You may have to do things that you're like, oh my gosh, this is racking my brain. When am I ever going to learn this? You know, people that want to like build muscle, you have to lift such heavy weight that it literally tears and rips your muscles in order for them to grow bigger. Who's ever had like a day of heavy lifting and you felt so sore, and you're like, oh, I can't, it's painful. Growth is sometimes painful, but you know what? Staying the same is even more painful. Because you're always going to wonder, well, what if I had just tried harder? What if I did it? What if I, you know, thinking about what might have been. Usually when people get to the end of their life, they're not regretting what they did as much as they're regretting what they didn't do. Avis does ballet. That's cool. I did that for 10 years. I did tap, ballet, and jazz for 10 years. So you don't want to be held back. You don't want to stay in your comfort zone and not move and not grow. And it's going to be painful. Thousands will fail because they're unwilling to make changes. They refuse to change jobs. They refuse to change towns. They refuse to change friendships. They stay in their comfort zone. Yet thousands will move up the ladder of happiness because they were willing to go through a little discomfort to experience a new level in life. Are you willing to go through some discomfort? Oh, who likes being uncomfortable? Nobody, ever, right? It's like some famous writer once said, I don't like writing, but I like having written a book. Like, I like when the book is done, but I don't like the process of getting there. You know, a big muscled person might not like the lifting the heavy things and the tearing the muscles and this and that, but he likes the results of how he looks like a big tough guy. You know, whatever it is, it's like we want the results. And this is hard for us because we're not really from a generation of super hard workers like our parents and grandparents. Mona says being uncomfortable is difficult but inevitable. Quickly stopping by. Hi and bye, Mona. But it's so true. You have to do those things that are like hard and painful and difficult if you want to get results you have never had before. Aesthetic life. How do you look so beautiful? My parents, I don't know, genetics, I don't know. So doing something, getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of what is going to make you happy, and it's going to be getting to those new levels in life. If you're not happy where you are now, then you have to do something different, right? You have to change. Are you confessing the same things over yourself? Are you doing the same things every day? Are you eating the same things every day? Is your exercise habit the same? Is your work habit the same? Hi, JJ. If whatever you're doing is not giving you the results you want, are you going to just sit there and be comfortable and complain? Or are you going to be courageous and step out and do something you've never done to get the results you've never had before? So Peter wanted to walk on water. Who remembers that? Jesus saw his excitement. Then he gave him a simple instruction for Peter to do something he'd never done before. And Jesus said, come. You want to walk on water? Come. Come on, you can do it. Oh boy. And when Peter got out of the ship, he walked on water. See, when God wants to move you and he wants you to do something different in your life, he's going to give you an instruction. Are you guys following the instructions? Are you doing the things you feel like God has told you to do? Or are you like, well, I don't really feel comfortable doing that, or that's going to be a lot of hard work, or I don't see how that's going to work out. You know, I think I'll just sit back. I'll just sit here and pray for that thing to happen. Like, I don't actually want to do the thing God's telling me to do to get it. I'll just sit here and pray that it happens. Well, even Scripture says faith without works is dead. So you can have faith, you can pray all day long, but if you never take the steps, you're not going to get those things. If you never make the move, you know, God is a God of action. You can't just sit there and pray and not make any moves towards the things you want to do. So Jesus always gave people something to do. And it was usually something they had never done before, right? Like healing the paralytic, you know, someone who's hadn't walked in 35 years. He's just saying, okay, well, stand up. But I haven't stood up in 35 years. Stand up. But I want to, people won't let me get in the healing water and they're always getting in my way. Do you want to be healed? Yeah. Well, stand up. You know, and how many times in life do we go, oh, but it hasn't worked in 35 years and I'm probably never going to walk again. And no one has ever walked again after 35 years. And I don't know if Nana's still on, but she can attest to her husband was in a wheelchair for 10 years. But eventually, one day, through lots of her prayer, and I'm sure his, and faithfulness, he stood up. He stood up one day. And he hasn't been in a chair since. So, and that's years and years ago. So what are you still stuck in your comfort zone doing and not getting the results that you want? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to take action? Are you willing to stand up? So our obedience is proof that we have faith in God. Thank you for the gift, Angela. That's so kind. Okay, Jordan says, when I used to do judo, I used to wake up the next day and my body used to be so sore and tender and bruised. Yeah, building muscle is frustrating because you can lose muscle and then it's hard to build it back up. Yeah, atrophy, right? Atrophy is when your muscle shrinks. When you stop using that muscle, it shrinks. It's like I took a year of Spanish in 11th grade and I was pretty good at it. But then I didn't use it and now I don't know Spanish anymore. Like I have my old notebooks of my Spanish class, but when you don't use it, you lose it, right? Isn't that a saying? Hey, unknown ball legend, I'm good. So we have to have obedience. Obedience is the proof of faith. Listen to the instructions of the Israelites. So this was a crazy one. Remember when God told the Israelites to march around the walls of Jericho 6 days in a row? And then 7 times on the 7th day? You're like, what does this have to do with anything? But sometimes God is going to give you instructions that don't make sense. But he knows, hey Rowena, he knows on the other side of those instructions is victory. Something you're going to be victorious in if you just follow those messages. Thank you, Clover Cow. I appreciate you. Yes, I should be in a couple coming out in the next week or two because I've shot like 4 that have not aired yet. So they're coming. They're coming. So we have to do things sometimes that don't make sense, right? Listen to the prophet's instruction to a leper. He told the leper to go dip in the Jordan River 7 times, and on the 7th time you will be healed. Well, this leper, it just says my grandpa has 2 different colored eyes. Oh, cool. All right, Lizzie, have a good Sunday. This leper was like a noble, like he was like a rich guy. He was like an aristocrat. And when God told him to go dip in the Jordan River, he was kind of like grossed out because he considered like the Jordan River was like considered dirty and yucky. So there are going to be times where maybe God tells you to do something that might seem yucky to you. Like, oh, go apologize to that person that hurt you. And you're like, yuck, no, oh, I'm not going to do that. Whatever it is. And you're like, I don't know. And you got 10 million reasons why you're not going to do that. Good to see you, Jonathan. So you don't want to do, sometimes God gives you instructions, you're like, I don't want to do that. No, that doesn't feel comfortable to me. Again, moving out of the comfort zone. But with forgiveness, like many other things, it's going to bring you the freedom. It's going to help move you to the next level. Do you know why you don't have what you want in life? Sometimes it has to do with you. Thank you, Clover Cow. Sometimes it has to do with you not following God's instructions. And other times it has to do with you not wanting to do something uncomfortable. God won't move you past your last act of disobedience. What does that mean? So if God told you to do something and you didn't do it, and you feel like, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to listen, that's too hard for me, you're asking too much, you don't know what that person did. Well, yeah, God does know. I'm not going to do that one thing. Then when you pray, it's, you know, God hears you, but he's like, well, they're not following my commands. Why am I going to do the next thing? You know, it's the same with people who mentor you. If you have a mentor and you're going to this mentor for advice, if you're not following their advice, there's no need for them to give you more. You know, so we have to do things that are uncomfortable in order to move to the next place. So what does that mean to you? What in your life, what do you feel like? You guys, this is some soul searching stuff I want you to do this week, right now, if you feel like it. What is something you feel like God has told you to do, but you've been rebelling against it? You've been not wanting to do it. Like in the back of your head, you're like, I know I should. Like, I know that's like something God would want me to do. But no, God, you don't understand. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. You know, I had that with forgiving my brother. I hated my brother for years. Jonathan's saying, I've been there before. Is it Virka? Assignments from Kat. Brittany doesn't want to do the assignments I give her. Well, because it's making you uncomfortable, isn't it? It's putting you outside your comfort zone. It's easy to stay in sometimes it's even easy to stay in patterns of self-destructive behavior because we're used to it, right? We've become friendly with the enemy. We've become friendly with the devil. Jarrell wants to know what kind of music I listen to. None really, but almost every morning I'll play like a gospel song. Brittany. She said, I never said that. I'm wondering if she's referring to staying friends with the devil. Yeah, homework or classwork, we don't want to do it. But it's meant to make us grow and improve and learn, right? But no, like if you think of, to finish Jarrell's question, in high school I used to listen to country and rap. I liked like the hip hop for the for dancing, for the beats, but I like country for like the storytelling. I'm a kind of a storyteller at heart. I like stories, so they always had funny lyrics and sometimes a lot of heartfelt lyrics too. So doing something to step outside of your comfort zone, to do something that you've never done that seems uncomfortable, we don't want to do it. We want to stay friends with the enemy sometimes. It's like sometimes there's women who, and I suppose men sometimes, are getting abused by their spouses. Oh yeah, I love Lecrae. I've seen him live in concert. Yeah, unknown ball legend likes Lecrae. I did one of his, I had a class assignment once for an acting class, and we all had to come and do like a music video for class, and we had to record it and lip sync to it, because a lot of times in movies you have to learn how to lip sync if you're playing a singer, but you can't really sing. So I chose a Lecrae song for my acting class assignment, and I did a music video rapping to Lecrae. So, I keep going back. We've got to do the uncomfortable things to get where we, so back to the spouse that may be being beaten. Maybe you've heard of the term, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, right? So sometimes a person will stay in an abusive relationship because they're like, well, I know what to expect with him. I know if I just have his dinner ready on time, and I don't mouth off, and I don't get lippy with him, and I do these certain things, then he won't punch me out. So they've calculated, that's less scary than trying to go out and make it on my own, than trying to find a job and a place to live and this and that. They calculate the devil I know is better than the devil I don't know. Living, maybe you've got chronic depression, chronic anxiety, maybe you've got an eating disorder, maybe you've got whatever devil is trying to stick around you, you sometimes get so comfortable with it and you go, well, but I already know how to keep it under control. I know I can do this and that when my anxiety gets bad. I know these certain things I can do with the depression. I'm so used to having these patterns of eating or not eating that I know how to keep it under control. So we think we've mastered the devils. And sometimes it's easier to keep them than to want to just let them go. Okay, let me look at a couple questions. All right, Brittany says, I never said that to you, saying never wants to do assignments I give her. I'm an A+ student here. Thank you very much. Yes, yes. I've only had, yeah, I've got some A+ students. You're definitely one of them. Okay, it's hard sometimes to forgive. I agree, especially with a husband situation. Via says, change is not supposed to be easy. If it's easy, then it doesn't change. Sometimes it's not easy because it's a mental thing. It's a mental block. We think it's hard. We make it hard. But some of the changes we need to make are actually simple changes. They're simple, but we make them difficult in our mind. We've got, is it Emmy? I don't know if that letter is an E. M-I. Sending love from Japan. You're my favorite Dhar Mann actor. Cool. And Jackie got all A's on her homework. So, instructions. Now, we've got Ruth in the Bible. And Ruth left her home country of Moab to go be with Naomi. When she did that, when she left the place she grew up, the place she was comfortable with, to go to a place she had never been, then that's where she met her husband. That's where she met, the person she was supposed to spend the rest of her life with. We've got Elijah in the Bible who stretched his faith. He stretched the faith of the widow. We had this widow who was so poor, and she was about to make her last meal for her and her son, and they were going to die because they were going to starve to death. They were all out of food. But Elijah helped her stretch her faith, and he said, before you give food to you and your son, you make food for me. I mean, that's pretty bold. But God told him to do that. You tell her, that starving woman who's her and her son are about to starve to death, you tell her to take the last of her flour and oil and make you a meal first. But her doing that stretched her faith. 2 pancakes before death motivated her to do something she had never done. She sowed a seed in expectation of a harvest, even during a famine, and she saw a miracle come to pass. So sometimes what we have to do is we have to stretch our faith. What do you need to do right now? You personally, what do you need to do to stretch your faith to get that thing you've never had? What do you need to do to be motivated? Because it's not until we do something we've never done will we have something we've never had. And that's the truth. So I'm sure you can think of different times in your life where you have done that. So I'm open for questions now. I'm done reading that book. So if there's any I missed, how come streamed in the past 2 weeks? I don't understand your question, Colin. Jordan is saying, Catherine looks like a goddess in a good way. Thank you. What do you like about Avis Wrentmore? Well, she's a fun lady. I enjoy that she likes to dance, and she just has a good attitude, and she let me borrow her hairspray yesterday on set. She's good at sharing. There's a lot of, I don't know her well enough to have a whole list of things. But she's kind. She knows how to dress. She knows how to get bargains on her clothes. Jarrell says, what was the thing in Hollywood that you found out was totally different from what you thought it was going to be? Number one, how long it takes to become successful. That's probably the number one thing. No was taken. How did you become an actor for Dhar Mann fam? I got referred to them to audition for one of their projects, and then I auditioned, and they liked my audition. I got the role, and then they just kept calling me back to do more roles. Unknown Ball Legend says, I have moments where people were rude to me and I forgave them. Yeah, you have to. You can't hold that in. Catherine, can you give me homework? I'm really good at homework. I feel like every time I'm on a live, I'm giving homework. Maybe you don't see it that way, but when I'm giving advice, I want you to take it, and that's your homework. So what did we talk about today? What are you wanting, Jackie, in your life that you don't have yet? And what are you going to do differently to get it? That could be your homework. Soul search what you're doing and how you could be doing it different. What did you do differently that or what can you do differently that will give you different results, better results that you want, so you're not just bashing your head against the wall. Okay, Via says, I noticed that newer Dhar Mann episodes include music instead of Dhar Mann narrating what happens. I mean, it's not like they ask me what they should do, so you're asking me why they're doing that. If I were to guess, I would say maybe they're just trying out what it would be like to make more like film-like episodes, right? Because when you guys watch a movie, when you go to the movies, there's not 99.9% of the time you don't have somebody narrating what's happening. There's a few movies that do. So maybe they're just trying out to make it more film-like. And I thought that was really cool when they were using music with lyrics to do montages. I was like, oh, that's just like in the Hollywood movies. I noticed a few like that. Maybe they're just trying something new. You know, Dhar is not afraid to try new things. He is one of those people. If Dhar had stayed in his comfort zone, you would not know who I am, right? Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe God would have put me in some big blockbuster movie and then I would have been known. Who knows? But if Dhar Mann had stayed in his comfort zone, there's 100+ people that would not be working for him right now, plus 1,000 actors that would not be working for him right now. He stepped out of his comfort zone. He did the uncomfortable things. He kept making these videos even when they were begging for like 500 people to watch a video. Kind of where I'm at with my YouTube channel. You're like, let's get up to 500 views, right? But if he had stayed looking at those results and quit, he wouldn't be where he is right now. Harley says, do you want any more kids? Do you wish you had a girl? You know, Harley, I did initially want one of each, but God had a different plan for me. I actually was just rereading my journal from 2018, and I was talking about the girl. I thought I was pregnant with a girl. I was talking about her. Yep. I thought it was gonna happen, but God knew better. He knew I needed Eli. He knew Rob needed Eli. He knew Timothy needed Eli. So we got an Elijah instead. And it says, I hardly see any old Dhar Mann actors in the new videos. Really? I mean, I think we're still there. Who are you talking about that you haven't seen? Let's see. Oh, Connor was asking why I had two different colored eyes. Yeah, and Noah was taken answered because God made her like that. Where's Mikey? I don't know. He's probably grounded right now. Who knows? Funny thing is, last time I worked with him on set, he actually was grounded by his real mom. Jordan says, I know that you're a busy lady, Catherine, but my question is, do you have audio versions of your books so they are in Audible, already in audio format, and do you wanna rate them? Jordan, that has been on my to-do list, and I really thought I was going to get one recorded last year. Well, it was like 2 years ago. I was going to do it in the studio, but then COVID and all the studios closed down. And last year, I set up a home studio, and I tried to record it myself. And what happened? I didn't something I'm not doing right with the microphone into the computer, and the recording didn't work out. So I have to do more research on that. The issue at the time was my kids are always home, so having it quiet enough where I can record an audiobook. So I made an audio booth setup and I put it inside my closet, and I've got an expensive mic, but something I wasn't doing right with the inputs or outputs. It wasn't recording properly in a way that Audible would accept. So I do want to record all 3 of my audiobooks, and you know, it's one of those things where I'm doing all the things each day that I know how to do, and that keeps me so busy that sometimes I don't want to learn new things that are, here we go again, if you want something different, you have to do something you've never done before. If I want an audiobook, I'm going to have to learn how to record an audiobook properly, which will be accepted by Audible standards. So I had my friend help me, and we at least recorded the preface for one of my books in her studio, and she had all the gear because she's a recording artist. So that worked, and I have the preface to one of the books, but me not being a sound person, audio person, I haven't stopped long enough to have the time to learn that, because there's so many other things to do each day with the writing and the making YouTube videos. You guys, I'm kept very busy just putting out 3 YouTube videos a week, plus being a mom of 2 kids, plus sometimes working at the studio 4 days a week. That you know, when you only have a tiny little amount of downtime and you're like, oh, I could get these 5 things done, or I could spend that entire time learning how to do something. Sometimes you don't do that because you're like, well, I already know 20 things I could be doing. I don't want to have to learn audio. I know that was a really long answer. And that's a lot of excuse making I just did. And that's like the opposite of what I'm telling you guys to do on today's live stream. So I need to take a piece of my own advice to do things I haven't done before. But I am doing things I haven't done before. Lots of things. That's just another thing to add on to it. Okay, so let's see. What is the matter with your eye? Is it fake? I'm not trying to be rude, says, well, there's nothing wrong with my eyes. I was just born with 2 different colored eyes. You know, sometimes I have met a couple people who they do have a dark eye, like I have the hazel eye, and then they have a light blue eye like I do. But it's like, it's got like the white, like cloudiness over it, and that's because it's due to an injury. So their eye turned blue out of an injury, right? Which is the same as David Bowie, the famous singer. Okay. What is your favorite Dhar Mann video? Connor DeHaven asks. I made a video here on my YouTube channel. Please go look it up. It's called my 8 favorite Dhar Mann videos I've ever been in. You know, somebody just recently asked me to do a part 2 on that, because I've probably made 60 or 70 more Dhar Mann films since I did that one. So I should look up doing a part 2. All right. Why was Cato grounded in real life from his real mom? He seems cool in real life. I don't know. I didn't ask. I didn't think it was any of my business. RJ asks, where were you on September 11th? I was shopping in the 99 cent store when I found out. But then when we got the call, I got the call from my friend's dad on her cell phone. We rushed back home, and we all sat in the community room with a lot of other people from the apartment building, and we watched the news all day unfold about all the things that were happening. Since I started working, I don't have much time during the week. Yeah, it's tough to balance everything you want to do. Okay. Can you please do a 3 questions with Kat with Aiden Meekus? You know, well, first of all, I haven't seen him in quite a while. Well, I did see him briefly a couple weeks ago. When I had asked him a couple years ago to do a YouTube video with me, he couldn't because he was under contract where he couldn't shoot YouTube videos with anybody else. I don't know if he's still under that same contract. I don't know if that was a contract he was under with YouTube. In hindsight, I think it might have been a contract he was under when he was doing vids with the Piper Raquel clan. I don't know. I don't know if he's allowed to do. I don't know. I would have to ask him if he's allowed to do that or not. So, if you could move to any state, what would it be? Oh, good question. I don't know. Texas is kind of appealing. I've got a lot of friends who moved to Texas. But Nevada is also kind of appealing. I don't necessarily want to go back to the snow and the blizzards. Arizona sounds interesting. I've kind of thought about Florida, but not seriously. It's hard to say. It's hard to say where God will take us. Hey, Emilio. Derek asks, and thank you for the gift, are you having a party for your birthday this year? I don't know yet. I was just thinking about that this week. I don't know. It's hard because, I don't know. There's other variables. There's other variables right now which I do not want to talk about, which is making me wonder whether I should or not. Oh my gosh, it's already after 9. Have I been talking that long? Holy moly. We gotta go, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, were you coming to get me and say, Mom, it's past time. We gotta go.
And we have fun, and then we have to go to the store. What store?
Oh, I want to go to Costco later.
I want to go to Target.
Oh, you want to go to Target? Okay. So, guys, I'm sorry. I'm over. I probably didn't answer all. I think I got to most of your questions, but I didn't get to all of them. You're going to have to join. Next week, we're going to have a special guest. We're going to have a special guest next week, guys. You're going to want to be here to see Shantae. Who loves Shantae? Who loves Shantae? You're going to want to be here next week because I'm going to interview Shantae. That's going to be awesome. Who knows Shantae? She plays Jay's mom, Mikey's best friend on Dhar Mann. Brittany's going with Timmy. Where are you going? Where are we going? We're going to church? And he wants to go to Target. That's where she wants to go. Target. Woohoo. Okay, guys, until next week. And join me Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 8 a.m. New videos. Who's Shantae? Oh, you better look up Dhar Mann. She has been in more videos than almost everybody. So it goes me, then Ricky, then Shantae. She's been in like 70 videos from Dhar Mann. So if you don't know who she is, oh my gosh, you got to do your homework. So come next week and we'll see you then. Bye. Bye.